So we're here with Bitmap Bureau. This is Dan on the left and Mike on the right.
Hello.
Hi, how are you guys doing?
Good, thanks. Yeah.
Thanks for being on camera. What are the games that influenced you into becoming coders or to where you are now?
When I was growing up, I used to play a lot of RPGs like Ultima, Bard's Tale. Then I got more into arcade games like Street Fighter. I played a lot of Mario, Metroid, Castlevania, all the classics really. So yeah, I've always had a passion for games and great game design. I'm probably more of a designer than a programmer, so I always wanted to create games rather than program them, but now I do both, so best of both worlds, I guess, really.
Yeah. I probably got into programming before I realised that, I mean, not realised, but like games were programmed, if that makes sense. So I did programming at college for like, I don't know, general software, and then suddenly thought, what can I do with that? And I love games, so I thought, oh yeah, games are programmed. Hey, join that together.
What did you study at university to get? Was this the path? Is this where you saw yourself?
I didn't go to university actually. I went to college, and yeah, I was skipping like lessons to go and play Street Fighter, and I always wanted to get into the games industry somehow. Yeah, I remember going for a job interview at HMV as their games sort of specialist in London, and I didn't get that job, and I was pretty dejected. But saw an advert in the back of Edge magazine for games testing. It was run by Arvark Swift, who are a big recruitment company and still around now, and this was 22 years ago. And yeah, they got me an interview with Sales Curve, who made a lot of 16 and 8-bit titles and some of the early CD-ROM games like Carmageddon as well. Actually, that's probably their most famous game. So yeah, managed to get in there. That was my foot in the door. And yeah, so a bit of luck really, and just sheer determination, I suppose. But yeah, it's I'm glad to be doing what I'm doing really.
What about yourself, Dan?
Yeah, I think for me, I mean, I joined university. I've only just finished university, and Mike taught me at university. So Mike does a lot of work in around the area, like helping out part-time university lecturer kind of thing. So I don't know. Since joining university, yeah, obviously I've really wanted to get into games because my course was geared towards games, which I think you can go into quite easily now. A lot of universities are doing courses specifically for games. But I mean, it's something I've always wanted to do. But now, I think mainly from university is what's pushed the games. Really. Yeah,
it's good. So there used to be a bit of stigma with people that like, oh, you play games for a living, you make games for a living, is that a real job? what would you say now to those? Like someone said, oh, that's what you do.
Yeah, I used to get that a lot. Yeah, and people couldn't believe I got paid to play games, but actually it was a horrible job. You know, you're spending 8 hours a day, 5, 6, sometimes 7 days a week for sometimes a year or two playing the same game. And yeah, after a while, you just go nuts almost, and especially if you're playing a really bad game. And unfortunately, you have to test whatever's put in front of you. But yeah, these days, I think a career in the games industry is much more viable. And yeah, we've got people getting paid to actually record themselves playing games. So we've got big YouTubers now and make a massive amount of money just by playing games and having people watch them. So yeah, it's amazing how things have changed, but it's very competitive. It's very hard to get into the games industry now. So yeah, I count myself as being quite lucky, even though I've started a very long time ago.
Right. So Bitmap Bureau. Can you tell us a bit about how you came to be involved in Bitmap Bureau and why it's called Bitmap Bureau and what is Bitmap Bureau?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I've been making indie games for about 10 years now. But recently I started Bitmap Bureau with a few other guys that I've worked with in the past. So yeah, the inspiration was really to go and make 2D games specifically in the sort of 16 8-bit style and bring them up to date with modern gameplay and technology. So yeah, and I guess the word bitmap comes from the sort of 2D art that we use in our games, which is all very it's heavily pixel art, of course. So yeah, Bitmap Bureau, that's how it came about. And
okay, so we've been playing 88 Heroes. There's 88 levels over 4 worlds, 88 seconds. There's a key, 88.
Yeah.
Why 88? And
what's your obsession with that?
Yeah, I think it goes back to my teenage years when I used to play a game called Area 88 by Capcom. And yeah, that number just stuck in my head for some reason. and also there's been a lot of games that use the number 99, so 88 just sort of set it apart, I guess. And we wanted to make a game with a huge amount of heroes that hadn't been done before. Some games like Broforce have got about 30 or so, but yeah, we wanted to get close to 100, and yeah, 88 just had a good ring to it, and yeah, we just settled on that eventually.
Did you rethink? I'll ask Dan. Did you think even being a part of it when you knew it was going to be so much work? Because 88 heroes is a lot to work on individually. Because most games will have one hero, and that's your protagonist, and you fight bad guys, and it might be 7 or 8 bosses. But there's 4 bosses in this. There's 88 heroes that you have to code for and design. Was there ever a time you think, bitten off too much?
Yeah, I think you were saying, what did you get to, like 22, and then you started to regret?
Yeah, we got about a quarter of the way through, and we started thinking this is a huge amount of work.
Yeah.
Would I do it again? I'm not so sure. might go for like 44 heroes next time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a huge amount of work, and but yeah, I think it's quite a good hook. No one's really done a game with that many heroes before, so yeah, it helps it stand out.
Well, going back to some of the characters, so the main kind of baddie, the boss guy, he reminds us a lot of Inspector Gadget's kind of claw. I'll get you next time, Gadget.
I'll get you next time, Gadget.
Yeah.
What was the influence for that character specifically?
You probably have to ask our artist Steph, but yeah, Dr. Claw was certainly one of them. I think we looked at Megatron in terms of the voice acting as well.
It'll be me. It will always be me.
But we had a great voice actor called George Exley behind Dr. Hate, so we kind of let him loose with the character. And he came up with his own lines and puns and all sorts, so that really helps flesh out that character.
Yeah. Classic English humour, isn't it? Classic dry English humour.
Yeah. So is there a character that you guys play, or a few characters you guys particularly like playing with?
Yeah. I like the difficult ones, like Toxic Snot. He's my boy. El Deleo. So if you can beat the game with El Deleo on solo mode, send us an email and
we'll give you a job.
Yeah. I'll give you half my wage. No, I won't do that. Don't do that. Don't email me.
What's half of nothing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Dr. Blocktivus. He's good fun. You can create blocks which act as platforms or shields, so you can manipulate the level in all sorts of ways. Batbot's pretty cool. That was based on a mechanic we came up for a previous game called Time for Cat.
Do you regret having Misfortune in there?
Yes and no. I thought it was a great idea at the time because yeah, you can just flip Misfortune's coin, and if you're lucky, you go straight to the end of the level. The downside of that is that you go straight to the end of the level. So yeah, people have found an exploit where if you have Misfortune as your last hero, you can just keep retrying and flipping the coin, and yeah, just seeing if you get to the end, and sooner or later you will.
Doesn't count there. That's not true.
That's not a good. That's not the true way of playing it.
Earn your achievement.
Okay, so this would be a question from my son. He would ask me, what is the RNG for that? So what percentage?
50-50.
It is
50-50, like a proper coin.
Proper coin.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I used to lecture at the Solent University, and there's hundreds of students coming through there, all aiming to be games designers or programmers. So yeah, getting your foot in the door is really it's really tricky now. But you really have to start at the bottom, I think, with getting into QA or maybe a junior programming position if you're particularly good at programming. But yeah, it can be done. If you want to go the independent route, then it's certainly feasible to teach yourself now thanks to Google, YouTube, and we have engines such as Unity, Unreal and GameMaker, which do a lot of the heavy lifting for you. So yeah, if you are going to make your own games, I'd say keep it simple, keep your costs down as well. Don't go and get a fancy office somewhere and spend thousands of pounds on equipment. Just stay at home with mum and dad, get a part-time job, and maybe just chip away at a game in the evening or at the weekends. And yeah, you might just get a bit of luck. I think that's the other thing as well. Just get your games out there, get people seeing your games. And yeah, I think if you if you're proactive, then you can make your own luck sometimes.
I think as well, you've got to work hard. Don't go into making games and be like, oh, I'm going to quit my day job and make games for a living, because that's not really the way it works. You'd have to work.
Yeah, you've got to put the hours in. Yeah, there's always someone working harder than you.
Exactly. Yeah. You've got time to sit down and play games, and you've got time to go and make them.
Yeah. I think you have to be brave as well. If you're going to make an indie game now, you have to really do something that helps it stand out. So try and take creative risks, really. Which is, again, it's getting more and more difficult. There's hundreds of games popping up on Steam every week, so coming up with an original idea, it gets harder by the day. But I think that's what you have to do, really, unless you have, a massive marketing campaign behind you, which most of us indies don't, unfortunately.
Ninja Showdown.
Yeah.
How far are you into developing this? How long until we can get it in our hands?
Not long.
What do you reckon, Dan?
Maybe a few more months.
Okay.
Most of the development's done. We're pretty much wrapping up on development now. It needs to go off for testing and all that.
Yeah,
process.
We're tweaking the volume settings at the moment for the sound effects. So yeah, that means we're right at the end, really. So we're looking at around August. We're trying to get onto various platforms at the moment, such as the Nintendo Switch. So all these extra platforms slows things down a little bit. But yeah, I'd say the game is feature complete and almost bug free. So yeah, won't be long.
Almost.
If your current games did really well, so 88 Heroes, is indie a platform you want to stick with, or do you want to do something eventually like Skyrim or Fallout? Thinking obviously they're massive studios and companies.
Yeah, I mean,
so what's the end term for
it does seem quite attractive getting to that, making a game that scale, but I think once you do, I've been involved in AAA development many years ago, and you tend to be a very small part of a great big machine. But yeah, with indie development, you get to call all the shots yourself. Every day, you're designing, programming, but you're also doing the marketing, social media, talking to people like yourselves. I prefer this working in a smaller team. How about you, Dan?
Yeah, I mean, I really love working in a small team as well and doing a bit of design. This is great for learning. I've just finished university, so this is great for doing a bit of everything, finding what I really want to do. So I never would have thought I wanted to get into design as much as I do now. But a dream of mine has been to work for a AAA company. So one day, but it's you can't just jump. You don't finish university and jump into DICE and Stockholm. You have to do sort of a bit more hard work than that and learn more. So yeah.
So what is the most tedious part of your job?
I think bug fixing is pretty tedious. Yeah, I mean, I could show you my bug list for 88 Heroes and Ninja Showdown, and there's hundreds of entries in there. And getting that down to zero is that's hard work. And then when you do get to zero, and then someone finds another 10, 20 bugs, that's pretty soul destroying.
Yeah.
That's quite tedious.
Just playing the game, the amount of hours I've put into 88 Heroes.
No, don't you meant to say it's fun?
Yeah, well, but I mean, obviously it's an extortionate amount of hours compared to what most people would put in. Yeah, you put
a few thousand hours in per game. So some games, you might get to the end and think, I'm just done with this game. I never want to play it again. But actually, if you finish developing a game and you still enjoy it, then I think that's a really good sign. Other tedious aspects.
Making the teas.
Well, what's the best bit? What do you love about it?
I think the best bit is knowing that you've had a major part in making a game and getting it out there in front of people and just seeing people enjoy your game and getting the feedback. I used to make games a long time ago for various platforms like even some of the early mobile phones, and back then there was just no feedback at all. You might get the odd magazine review, but these days there's shows such as Rares and Insomnia where you can actually go and display your game and get the public playing it. So for me, that's the most satisfying part of it.
Yeah, I like I think there's little stages in development where you have little pieces that come together. It's like a brick wall with loads of bricks being built upon a brick wall, and when you complete that row, and then it feels great. So say it could be most of the artwork comes in. from the artist, and then boom, you implement all the artwork, and then it feels like you've just taken that next little step in the development. And that's, I really like those little stages. For instance, we just, as Mike said earlier, we're just in the process of mixing the audio, so when that audio comes back, it's just going to be another line in our brick wall that just will feel great, will feel more complete. Don't know why wall though.
Wall. I don't know where that come from. We've never talked about walls before.
No, it's not like a wall.
It's great. Tetris.
Breaking down walls, that's all we're doing.
I thought you were going to mention Broken Bricks there.
Yeah.
That would be a nice link.
Yeah. Watch Broken Bricks.
Age of Heroes is out on PS4, Xbox One, PC, Mac, Linux. It's on Good Old Games, it's on Humble Bundle, it's on Steam.
Oh my goodness, everywhere.
And
physical copies, get some physical copies on Amazon.
Blu-ray, PS4 copy. So yeah, it's on just about everything. It's around £12, £13, I think. Yeah, please go buy it. That'd be great. Thank you.